it's a great experience. Now, after I got my pilot's license and got to fly, and I've had the good experience of having clients, mainly because they looked at what I did in the Navy. I was hired out of the Navy for a lot of folks, and I got to travel with some rich clients in their big airplanes. So I have basically been all over the world. I noticed in here that there's a good representation of Port Arthur coming from every walk of life. Let me tell you how important education is to you, and I can't emphasize that enough. And that's, being in this program will help you be educated. I want to tell you about a guy named Augustus Bodine. One of the things I've gotten to do in my life, I got to fly with one of my rich clients over to Africa, to the nation of Liberia. They thought some representation in the United States. And so I went over there and they hired me. I would meet with the president of the country, his cabinet. We would try to take concerns of this African nation to Washington to try to get all the help we could. Well, they assigned me, while I was there, on several occasions, a young man to kind of guide me, run errands for me, and be my go-between with some of the officials in Liberia. Well, Augustus expressed a desire to come to the United States to further his education. Well, I got to looking into this young man's thing. Basically, he lived out in the jungle, slept on a dirt floor in a hut. He had very little education. Well, we managed to get him to the United States and managed to get him accepted to Lamar University in Beaumont. We got him a working scholarship where he paid his tuition by working in the cafeteria. When he came here, he didn't even know how to drive a car. Had little. Today, Augustus has a master's degree in finance, has a going business up here in East Texas, has made major investments in Northwest Africa, and is a successful businessman, mainly because he took every opportunity and used every bit of that gold mine he had to become better educated and learn about discipline for himself and others and how to be a good employer. So I would tell you, if you want to imitate somebody, imitate Augustus, because it leads to success. And success starts with a program like the ROTC. Anybody else got a question? Yes, sir. Speak loudly. I'm having a hard time here.
Did you enjoy your experience, sir?
I did. Looking back on it, some of the best times in my life was while I was in the Navy. My first child was born while I was in the Navy. Matter of fact, I tried a court-martial the day my first child was born. I was just telling the superintendent she was born on Navy payday, which was a good omen. But, and there, you can't believe the benefits of being a naval officer. When my first child was born, well, when my last child was born, it cost me about $3,000, okay, right here in Jefferson County. My first child's birth cost me about $15, not $1,500, $15. He was born at the Navy Hospital. And there are all kind of benefits. You know, I love living on the Navy base. We had a cheap movie, had intramural sports. We had all sorts of recreational activities, educational opportunities, courses you could take both on campus and by correspondence. It's, you know, learning is not something that you do now and stop. It's something that you'll do for the rest of your life, hopefully. Any other questions?
When you was growing up, you always wanted to be a lawyer?
I knew I wanted to be a lawyer from high school on. And there is some benefit to making your career choices early. For me, I looked into a program at the University of Texas, and I was the first one in my immediate family to ever go to college. But I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, so that's what I put down as I wanted to major in. I looked into a program that allowed me to go for 3 years and then directly to law school and receive my baccalaureate degree at the end of my first year in law school. So I got out of law school in less than 6 years when all my colleagues had taken 7 to go. They had to get their degree and then 3 years in law school. So. Anything else?
How long were you in the Navy for?
Well, I was on active duty for 3.5 years. But then I was in the Navy in the Naval Reserve for about 10 years. It got to where, because I got in politics, I had other duties that I didn't have the time available to do what I was doing politically and spend 30 days a year in training. But it would have been a great deal, because a lot of my pals who stayed in the reserve, you can stay in the reserve and draw a retirement and keep your own other career. You don't have to stay on active duty forever, and you can be in the Naval Reserve, do, I guess it's monthly training and some weekend training.
One weekend out of the month.
Sir?
And one weekend out of each month, and then
Yeah.
in the summertime, 2 weeks.
Yes, yeah. And I tell you, while I was in the reserve on my 30-day training, it was like a great vacation. You know, I got to go to some really neat places. I spent 1 month in the Pentagon. I spent a month active duty in New Orleans. Some of that's really good duty. And you get paid for it.
How many degrees do you have?
How many degrees? 2. I have an undergraduate BA degree in general studies, or fine arts, not fine arts, liberal arts, and I have a law degree.
Can you tell them a little bit about the House of Representatives and what you did?
Well, as soon as I got off active duty, I came back to Port Arthur, and within a couple of months, some of my friends urged me to get in politics, so I ran for state representative in 1962. I stayed in the House of Representatives for 14 years, and then I went to the Senate, where I stayed 18 and a half years. And that was very rewarding, and it was a place where the principles of leadership can be very valuable to you. Because if you want to be successful in politics, you need to be able to get people to follow your lead and agree with you what you've done. And I was able to do, I think, some good things of which I am duly proud, if not boastful. Lamar State College in Port Arthur and Lamar State College in Orange, I introduced the bill and passed it that created those. And I was able to get them funded. I was able to get the funding to build the Montaigne Center in Beaumont. Several other things. There's some things that didn't get noticed very much by the general public, but I passed the bill that requires infants to be secured in an infant seat. And that's just one piece of legislation that I'm told saves about the lives of about 600 babies a year. There's all kind of other stuff I had the opportunity to do, but probably I'm told that there are about 400 pieces of legislation that I was able to get made into law while I was in the legislature. So I'm pleased to be able to do those things. Anything else?
Well, we appreciate you coming.
Yes,
What
sir.
we want to do is, we want to get a picture with you, if you don't mind.
Well,
sir.
certainly,
And
certainly.
what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have them fall in up here and have you stand in the middle.
Well, I tell you what, you can have it enlarged and put it up and it'll keep the pest out of the building.
Well, it'll have dual service then. And it probably won't be your picture, it'll be some of theirs. So,
All
get them
right.
fall in.
Yes, sir. Everybody fall into the turn.
Let me tell you.
Seats.
Break, no, go ahead, keep standing. Because that's what we had to do every time we'd go to class. We'd have to stand at attention until the instructor came in, and our company commander would then say two, and everybody would be seated. Well, mine I've told you about already. One of the things we had to learn was the phonetic alphabet. How many of you know what the phonetic alphabet is? All you older guys. It's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. It's a name for every letter of the alphabet. Well, we had to learn it, and they gave us little flip cards for it. And they all mean something. Bravo Zulu is the Navy code for well done. And so at the end of one of our sessions of a particularly tough instructor, we were all standing at attention when he came in. And when our company commander said two, we all held up the two cards that said Bravo Zulu. And our instructor almost went to tears. He got all choked up over it. He kind of swallowed hard, and he looked out at us, and we didn't know what he was going to say, and he looked around and he said, "Fine, your damn cards are upside down." So two, y'all have a seat.
All right, we're gonna get a picture. with you,
Okay.
sir. Get them fall in.
Yes, sir.
Fall in.
Fall in.
Okay.
Most, some of it on live, but not much.
And I'll say this too. I hope to be around a little while longer. And if any of you have any questions or problems that you think I can help you with, I don't have any unlisted phone numbers. Give me a call, and I'll be happy to I like to visit with young people anyway, so give me a call.
We're gonna get you staying right here.
All right.
I have nothing I get in that. Picture on that? appreciate you coming.
Well, I enjoyed it, I hope I didn't.
What do we
bore
say?
you.
No, you did. What do we say?
That looks like a fine group of young folks.
How you doing? Hey guys, I'm signing off.
Oh,